Sentinel-6B, F-564. SpaceX successfully launched a Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket with the Copernicus Programme mission from Space Launch Complex 4 East, SLC-4E, at Vandenberg Space Force Base, VSFB, California. This launch flew the Sentinel-6B satellite with a mass at launch of 1,440 kilograms, dry mass, 1,191 kilograms, to a 1,336 kilometers altitude circular orbit inclined 66 degrees to the equator. The flight took place on Monday, November 17, 2025, at 5 hours and 21 minutes Coordinated Universal Time, UTC, or on Sunday, November 16, at 9:21 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, PST. Falcon booster B-1097 took a southerly trajectory from Space Launch Complex 4 East, SLC-4E. After stage separation, the booster re-entered Earth's atmosphere and landed safely at Landing Zone 4, LZ-4, which is located directly adjacent to SLC-4E. The Falcon 9 first stage booster supporting this mission, tail number B-1097, launched for a third time.
Sentinel-6B, S-6B. Sentinel-6B, S-6B, is a radar altimeter satellite developed in partnership between several European and American organizations. It is part of the JASON satellite series. S-6B includes a synthetic aperture radar altimetry instrument designed to improve ocean topography measurements, as well as topography of rivers and lakes. The spacecraft is expected to operate for 5.5 years after entering service. The main objective of the Sentinel-6 mission is to measure sea surface topography with high accuracy and reliability to support ocean forecasting systems, environmental monitoring, and climate monitoring. Instruments: Poseidon 4, a radar altimeter, developed by the European Space Agency, ESA, based on the Sentinel-3 synthetic aperture radar altimeter, SRAL, instrument, but with a design adopted to allow an interleaved mode combining a synthetic aperture radar, SAR, high-resolution, HR, mode and a low-resolution, LR, mode based on pulse-limited altimetry. Advanced Microwave Radiometer, AMRC, provided by NASA. Global Navigation Satellite System Precise Orbit Determination, GNSS pod, receiver, developed by ESA and derived from the GNSS receiver on Sentinel-3. Doppler orbitography and radio positioning integrated by satellite, DORIS receiver, identical to the one used on JASON-3 and Sentinel-3. Laser reflector array, LRA, used for satellite laser ranging, identical to the one used on JASON-3, provided by NASA. GNSS radio occultation, GNSS-RO, based on a Tri-G receiver, provided by NASA. Falcon 9 Block 5. Falcon 9 Block 5 is a partially reusable, human-rated, two-stage-to-orbit, medium-lift launch vehicle designed and manufactured in the United States by SpaceX. It is the fifth major version of the Falcon 9 family and the third version of the Falcon 9 full-thrust. It is powered by Merlin 1D engines burning rocket-grade kerosene, RP-1, and liquid oxygen, LOX. Space Launch Complex 4 East, SLC-4E. Space Launch Complex 4, SLC-4, is a launch and landing site at Vandenberg Space Force Base, VSFB, California. It has two pads, both of which are used by SpaceX for Falcon 9, one for launch operations, and the other as Landing Zone 4, LZ-4, for SpaceX landings. The complex was previously used by Atlas and Titan rockets between 1963 and 2005. It consisted of two launch pads, Space Launch Complex 4 West, SLC-4W, formerly PALC-2-3, and Space Launch Complex 4 East, SLC-4E, formerly PALC-2-4. Both pads were built for use by Atlas Agena rockets, but were later rebuilt to handle Titan rockets. The designation SLC-4 was applied at the time of the conversion to launch Titan launch vehicles. Both pads at Space Launch Complex 4 are currently leased by SpaceX. SLC-4E is leased as a launch site for the Falcon 9 rocket, which first flew from Vandenberg on September 29, 2013, following a 24-month refurbishment program which had started in early 2011. SpaceX began a 5-year lease of Launch Complex 4 West in February 2015 in order to use that area as a landing pad to bring back vertical takeoff, vertical landing, VTVL, return to launch site, RTLS, first stage boosters of the reusable Falcon 9 launch vehicle. That pad was later named by SpaceX as Landing Zone 4, LZ4, and first used operationally for a Falcon 9 booster landing in 2018. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, is an independent agency of the U.S. federal government responsible for the United States' civil space program, aeronautics research, and space research. Established in 1958, it succeeded the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, NACA, to give the American space development effort a distinct civilian orientation, emphasizing peaceful applications in space science. It has since led most of America's space exploration programs, including Project Mercury, Project Gemini, the 1968 to 1972 Apollo program missions, the Skylab space station, and the Space Shuttle. Currently, NASA supports the International Space Station, ISS, along with the Commercial Crew Program, and oversees the development of the Orion spacecraft and the Space Launch System for the Lunar Artemis program. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NO. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NO, is an American scientific and regulatory agency tasked with forecasting weather, monitoring oceanic and atmospheric conditions, charting the seas, conducting deep-sea exploration, and managing fishing and protection of marine mammals and endangered species in the U.S. exclusive economic zone. The agency is part of the United States Department of Commerce and is headquartered in Silver Spring, Maryland. European Organization for the Exploitation of Meteorological Satellites, EUMETSAT. The European Organization for the Exploitation of Meteorological Satellites, EUMETSAT, is an intergovernmental organization created through an international convention agreed by a current total of 30 European member states. EUMETSAT's primary objective is to establish, maintain, and exploit European systems of operational meteorological satellites. EUMETSAT is responsible for the launch and operation of the satellites and for delivering satellite data to end users, as well as contributing to the operational monitoring of climate and the detection of global climate changes. The activities of EUMETSAT contribute to a global meteorological satellite observing system coordinated with other spacefaring states. European Space Agency, ESA. The European Space Agency, ESA, is a 23-member international organization devoted to space exploration. It has its headquarters in Paris and a staff of around 2,547 people globally as of 2023. ESA was founded in 1975 in the context of European integration. Its 2025 annual budget was €7.7 billion. The ESA Human Spaceflight Program includes participation in the International Space Station, ISS, and collaboration with the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, on the Artemis program, especially manufacturing of the Orion spacecraft's European Service Module, ESM. ESA launches and operates uncrewed missions to the Moon, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, the Sun, and various comets and asteroids. Other activities include space telescopes, Earth observation satellites, asteroid impact avoidance, telecommunication and navigation satellites, designing launch vehicles. For example, Ariane 6 is operated through Arianespace with ESA sharing in the costs, and maintaining Europe's spaceport, the Guyana Space Center at Kourou, French Guiana, as well as space safety and commercialization. SpaceX. Space Exploration Technologies Corp., commonly referred to as SpaceX, is an American space technology company headquartered at the Starbase development site in Starbase, Texas. Since its founding in 2002, the company has made numerous advances in rocket propulsion, reusable launch vehicles, human spaceflight, and satellite constellation technology. As of 2025, SpaceX is the world's dominant space launch provider, its launch cadence eclipsing all others, including private competitors and national programs like the Chinese Space Program. SpaceX, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, and the United States Armed Forces work closely together by means of governmental contracts.